See, them guys don't understand. They do that on the club level fight. Opponents, they say, y'all don't want to get knocked out by this guy, so I'm going to come in heavy. They're going to need the fight because they got to take the fight because they kind of get the numbers. That's what they do on the lower end. But now, they flipping the strip and doing it on the high end. You know what I'm saying? So that practice, you're going to start seeing that a lot now. But how we doing it now?
No, it wasn't like he put a whole bunch. They only found specks of that shit.
No. He.
Gervonta Davis' situation has taken a dramatic turn for the worse. After coming off a controversial draw in his last fight, he now finds himself facing a shocking accusation, this time from his own trainer. Calvin Ford has alleged Gervonta Davis has been using performance-enhancing acclaim that could shake the boxing world to its core. Gervonta Davis' impressive record, the idea that he may have been secretly using PEDs throughout his career without detection by boxing authorities, is both alarming and damaging. This revelation, surprisingly coming from Ford himself, appears to stem from a far-out Gervonta Davis camp following the issues surrounding him.
It just went like he just like you said. Oh, it was. We looked at 3 rounds. Brian was calling out, yo, I need 3.
Gervonta Davis has never entered a fight without Calvin Ford leading his corner since the start of his career.
As someone that's had Tank since basically he was a pup and you've raised him as a boxer and a man, what would you like to see Tank do?
I'm talking about it. He made me do it. They start to see. Promoters know these things. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to, in the words of Floyd Mayweather, I'm just trying to keep the playing field even. That's how he said it. That Floyd said it like that. I'm just trying to keep the playing field even.
And the safety of the sport.
And the safety of the sport.
Right. 100%.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's like to clear that up now.
For the first time in his career, Gervonta Davis stepped into the ring without Calvin Ford leading his corner last week, and the result spoke for itself. However, what stood out even Gervonta Davis' shocking behavior toward his longtime coach. During one of the later rounds, when Ford advised him to be more Gervonta Davis, abruptly cut him off, shouting Gervonta Davis, and listen to me. Many in the boxing community saw this as outright disrespect. One fan even commented, "I feel bad for that man." Gervonta Davis is rude and disrespectful. He really can't do much without him.
You know what I'm saying? Tank does that, you know, to get a eyebrow out of people. Like, you know how the Rock, when he put the eyebrow out, and he did get it.
Another fan empathized with Gervonta Davis' situation, saying, "If I had someone like Calvin Ford guiding me, the Gervonta Davis, I'd be forever grateful. He would never lack anything in his life." Others, however, strongly condemned Davis's actions, with one even calling him out as an ungrateful person. Gervonta Davis, "I could never be cool with someone like that. He's an ingrate. After everything Calvin did for him, he still disrespects him, yet he calls Calvin his father." Amid the growing controversy, Calvin Ford has finally spoken out about the real issue behind their split. In a recent interview, he addressed the situation head-on, answering tough questions about what truly led to their fallout.
Everything just happened.
That's right. I feel you, bro.
Y'all get what I'm saying?
That's right.
And that's all I got to just.
It's important to hear both sides of the story, but if the claims against Gervonta Davis are true, then he may be a very different person from the incredible boxer fans once knew. Calvin Ford opened up about their fallout, detailing the sacrifices he made for Davis over the years. He spoke about his unwavering commitment, revealing that he stood by Davis not just as a coach, but to honor a promise, to watch over him, fulfilling a wish tied to his own son's legacy.
What's going to happen?
Yeah, they're getting their excuse ready.
Say it again?
They're getting their excuse ready.
Come on.
When they lose.
Come on. I just know this right now, like, we ain't in the personal game, but again, we sending a message through him for the rest of them. He's playing boxing. They ain't giving him the real strip.
That lead, despite all his efforts, Calvin Ford has received nothing in return and has now given up on Gervonta Davis. This frustration has seemingly led him to expose Davis in any way possible. During a live interview, Ford revealed that there's more Gervonta Davis what the public sees. Gervonta Davis has built an image of invincibility with an impressive knockout record and a massive fan base. Ford claims there's a darker side to him, one filled with corruption behind the scenes. He also pointed out Gervonta Davis' biggest weapons have always been his psychological intimidation of opponents and his raw power.
So bad. I heard him so bad where everybody leave out and sit there and say, gosh. Then the rest of them behind this want to think about it. They don't give us our props. We don't want no props. We want to like show them this is boxing, right? We're going to show you.
Hey, Coach,
Gervonta Davis' psychological bullying is also more likely to withstand his power. This was evident in his fight against Lemont Roach, where he tried to intimidate the Washington fighter. But once Roach outsmarted Gervonta Davis, began to struggle and had no answers.
If you go back in history, they did the same thing. That's why Leonard was like, they did the exact same thing. That's why Leonard said, we're the A side. They handle that. Our job is to handle the fighter. The fighter job is to handle the fight. So when he speak about his team, this is team right here.
Calvin, do you feel disrespected right now?
No, I feel disrespected for the shots that he shot. And they kept going with that same narrated from day one.
A similar situation occurred years ago. Gervonta Davis faced Isaac Cruz. Going the full 12 rounds with the relentless Gervonta Davis refused to be intimidated, making it one of the toughest and closest fights Gervonta Davis. Now, Calvin Ford has dropped an even bigger bombshell, claiming Gervonta Davis another major weapon, performance-enhancing drugs, to gain an unfair advantage over his opponents.
Doing that. You go look at Tank, all this fight. That was the first fight in a long time when Tank first started, his body was that defined. You guys.
Gervonta Davis possesses a physical edge over his opponents, allowing him to absorb punches in the early rounds without showing signs of fatigue. According to Calvin Ford, this strength isn't just natural. It largely comes from the performance-enhancing substances Gervonta Davis takes before fights. For some reason, boxing's governing bodies have either failed to detect this or have chosen to turn a blind eye. However, Ford is now bringing these claims to light, determined to expose the truth about Gervonta Davis and the lengths he has gone to in order to gain an advantage.
Really like boxing.
Are you open to immediate rematch?
In my contract, immediate rematch was signed. I signed for the immediate rematch when I signed for the first fight.
Right.
Just in case he lost or just in case it was a draw.
So when you got a rematch clause, how long will we take?
Calvin Ford is making these revelations not just to expose Gervonta Davis, but to put him in serious trouble, aiming to strip him of his boxing accolades. He is determined to push Davis toward a loss in his next fight, which is now just around the corner. Following one of the most controversial boxing matches in recent memory,
hey, let me know now. Do you want to fight Tank again? He said he open to do a rematch. Do you want to fight Tank
100%. It's only a matter of time. We're gonna fight. We're gonna fight again. It's just whenever the fight gonna happen.
So it's gonna happen.
It's going to happen.
Okay. They said they want in New York again. Do you want to fight again in the Barclays Center?
Between Davis and Lemont Roach Jr. on March 1st, the boxing community has been eager to see them run it back. The majority draw decision left many unsure.